Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game Vine, and my name is David, and welcome to another Spice Up Your Life. Now, you can see the map of Heroscape is still set up from the review that we did, and there are many reasons for that. One of the reasons is that that's how Heroscape maps go. It's a pain in the butt to break down, and it kind of lingers on your table for about a week or two if you're lazy like me. And number two, because I wanted to do another Spice Up Your Life for Heroscape. Now, I've already did one Spice Up Your Life, which was incredibly simple. I showed you how to basically glue trees and or other terrain outside of Heroscape, you know, that you find at hobby stores, onto the actual terrain that you have just lying around all over the place. Because if you play Heroscape, you bought more than one set. And I kind of like planting the seed like that, especially for Heroscape because it's highly out of print. But there is a community out there for Heroscape. It's called Heroscapers.com. I'm displaying it on the screen right now. It's a collection of people who love this game and are just as sad to see it go as I am. And they're more creative than I am, actually. So they've actually done unlicensed expansions, like the Pokemon is one of them, as you can see here. They did the DC universe with the heroes. They don't make terrain, but they make characters. And there are other people making terrain out there because this game is so easy just to kind of do a custom job on it, as long as you have the extra terrain and or the extra pieces, which more often than not, if you have Heroscape, like I said, if you're an avid Heroscape collector, you will have these extra pieces. And with all that being said, let's get to the point of the Spice Up Your Life. Last time I showed you how to make terrain, now I'm going to show you how to make your own custom characters. As long as you have multiple sets and you have multiple unique heroes that you can only play one of, because that's kind of the downside of Heroscape, but the plus side, if you want to make custom characters, you're just going to be popping these off the platform and gluing it on here just like we did terrain. But there's a little more to the characters when it comes to Heroscape. You have to actually make their cards. Now, like I said, the people on Heroscapers.com are way more creative than I am and already have fleshed out a whole bunch of characters that aren't in the original game themselves. Pokemon, you can find a whole bunch. DC heroes. I even have one that's Mario right here. So if you're not as creative as these people, or if you want to make your own custom cards, you can find blank cards and then kind of just do whatever you want on the computer and make your own characters that way. Again, Heroscape is crazy customizable. So I'm going to show you how to do all this right now. Let's go to the first step of the Spice Up Your Life. Okay, so let me give you an example of some of the things that I've made. We're going to be making some that are on corkboard. These are much thicker than the actual cards, but if you have a good printer and some good thick cardstock glossy paper, you can just skip most of the process that I'm going to have this video go over and just print out the card and print out the back. I'm not going to have anything to do with the back. That's just the basic side normally. You can just have all the abilities gone if you want to do that route. It's more work for me. But if you have good paper, you can just print out the card, very easy. And then we're just going to need this base and some glue adhesive to put the characters on. So I have made all the DC characters that I was able to get. Now you can find some of these in toy stores, online, but I found these at the dollar store. I wish there was Wonder Woman, but I was able to make a few of these DC characters, 4 of them. I have Batman. Now, the thing is, these are huge. Now, in Heroscape, the scale is kind of wonky anyway, but this is really going to put it out of proportion, and some of these might be overpowered, but in Heroscape, that's kind of how it is anyway, because these are fan-made. This one here is really thematic. If Green Lantern, he has 5 like green markers on him, and he gets +1 to his move, range, and attack and defense for each green marker. He can relinquish a green marker to add another defense dice, and you know, then he'll only have 4, plusing everything by 4, which I think is cool. And there's stealth flying, that kind of stuff. You would be surprised what you can find online for Heroscape. I was just really really enamored and got caught up in the process of making these characters. Now I had a nickel on that. I just want to I thought that was kind of a fun little fact there. Now these are all custom made and made with a lot of tape, because I'm laminating them to try to keep them in decent condition, and people are going to know that these are custom. Whatever. It's really just putting these characters on the board, and it's so easy to do in Heroscape. So before I get on to showing you how to pop off these characters and slap them onto other things and make these cards, there's another easy route that you can do with the amiibos that you have just kind of laying around the house. Say you have either Skylanders or amiibos, they kind of fit on the hexes pretty well. Now again, the scale is going to be wonky, and the thing is, they still have a height, so you have to follow that no matter how tall they really are. But you can do that and make just cards, print them out if you have a better printer and or paper, like I said, and be done with it, and just plop those right there. I've also have a few Pokemon that they had a whole bunch of. I have Flareon and Pikachu that I made because we had these two lying around the house. So now let me show you how to make a Green Lantern, because this one will be Jon Stewart. Now Jon Stewart, I got him from the Hero Clicks. Now this is more along the size of what you want when it comes to Heroscape characters. There are going to be a few broken eggs to make these omelets, because again, some of the Heroscape statues are really on those platforms. I had 3 Jon Stewarts, and this one was surprisingly easy just to kind of pop off. And as long as you can get their feet off, and you have a whole bunch of these little minion characters or special unique heroes, you just want to pop these off, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, and then glue it on here. Super simple process, but these things are in there more than you would think. Now again, I'm sacrificing this piece, but I have 2 of him already, so some of them come out easier than others. You're gonna have a gaping hole, but you can try to cover that up with the character that you're gonna be putting on there anyway. Alright, I'm gonna use some adhesive, and I'm gonna glue him on here, and I'm gonna show you the finished project in 1 second. Alright, so I have him glued on here. I covered up the opening as much as I could there. He's going to sit and dry, but while he's doing that, we're going to go print out his card, because again, I'm showing you some pictures here. This is the card that I found online for Jon Stewart specifically. There's Kyle Rayner and Hal Jordan that I found, and you can take one and make one yourself if you don't like the ones that you find, but I do like the fan-made one, so we're going to take this one here and make it a card. Let's go. So I have a bunch of them printed out. I have Link here, I have Sonic, because we have those amiibo. Again, I have Skylanders. The kid has a bunch of them. We might as well use them for something. They just sit there anyway. Luigi, Bowser, but again, you've seen him before. This is our Green Lantern that we're going to make, and I printed them out on just regular paper because I'm a cheapskate. And I also have that cork board over there. I'm going to put him on top, laminate this thing, and we'll be good to go. So let me show my process as I'm cutting him out on the cork board. Let's go. So before I go on, again, this is a Spice Up Your Life that's going to have some sharp objects. So kids, have your parents help you out with this process. After that, then it's not going to be too much with the Sharpie. The first thing that you do with the corkboard, as you can see, I've been going crazy with the pieces here, is to tape this guy down right here. So you just want to tape him down on the sides or on the top and bottom, and be very careful when you're cutting out his actual shape for his card. Now again, if you have a good printer and some good cardstock, you can just skip this process and cut them out with scissors and have yourself a thinner card, but easier work and less maintenance. So the first time we go over, we're just trying to make a shape, and again, we're going to have a light kind of cut and go over the sides like this. Sorry about bumping the camera there. And this is just going to give us an outline, because we don't want to go like crazy and have a huge cut right now, because we want just to have this cut out go smooth as possible. And if you're going to rush it like this and cut down deep when you're just cutting out the paper, it's not going to have a good alignment. So I'm going to keep this process going, cut him out, and then we'll move on. Alright, here we have the finished product, front and back. We're going to pull off the little hangnails here, and then we're going to put the picture on here with some glue, and then we're going to start to laminate it with some tape, because I love tape. Just as much as red, green love duct tape, I love the clear stuff. Let's go. So the awesome thing is, since we used the X-Acto knife to cut this out, we have a pretty perfect cut. So I'm just going to put some glue on here and then place them down to give it a good firm grip, and this helps me align it properly, and then we'll start laminate it with the tape. So I put a few pieces of Scotch tape on right here. As you can see, it looks promising so far. I'm going to continue to do this process, but you have to be very sure that you're placing it right, because the ink will come off if you try to unalign the tape. So we're going to laminate this here, and I'm going to show you the finished product. Don't be afraid to go off the edges, because we're going to be wrapping it around the sides. So let's show you what it looks like after it's done. Haha, I am the king of the Scotch tape. So now that we have it all laminated, pull it off of your table, take some scissors, cut off any excess that you have here, and then you're going to be cutting little lines so you can fold it properly around the actual card, or at this point this is a board. So let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Nothing beautiful, but totally functional, and that's all you need when it comes to this game. Again, it's all about the spirit of play. Jon has dried completely, and now we have our very own Green Lantern card here, or character. So I'm going to continue to keep making all these characters here and making cards for the amiibos that I have, because we have a ton. And I'm going to make the next one here is going to be Kilowog, because I have his hero click. So that is basically the idea of trying to expand Heroscape yourself, especially for the cheapskate people out there, especially this guy right here. You can't see my thumbs. There they are. I'm totally a cheapskate, so that's why I went this route. Again, you can make it simpler by just having a good printer and good cardstock paper and printing it out yourself, and or printing the basic side on the other side. Again, this is just going to be blank for all intensive purposes on today's video, but now let me go into my final thoughts. So that is how you expand Heroscape on your own, making your own characters. I also showed you how to make terrain, and it's all planting the seed, because it all is relatively simple to do. It's a lot of tape, glue, and extra pieces. As long as you have all that, or you got to go out and hunt for the characters yourself, then you are in the clear to do your own thing. And that's what I love about Heroscape. I've said it like 15 times now, but again, it's my third favorite game for a reason. Even though it's out of print, I can do my own thing and expand the world, because the theme lets me do that. And the next thing that I'm going to get into after the Pokemon, Nintendo, and DC world, I think, is Steven Universe. I want to find some of those characters and put them in the world of Heroscape. Maybe Terminator or Dragon Ball Z or even Star Wars. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure people out there, creative people, not like me, I just have the everyday kind of creativity, but they make all this these cards on Heroscape or online. You can go to Google and put in Heroscape card Pikachu, Heroscape card Batman, that kind of stuff, and you might find something along the lines. Even Skylanders. I was surprised that they had 6, but again, you don't have to labor over the cards, but you just do whatever you want, and that's what Heroscape is. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Hopefully I helped you out, and tell me what your favorite character is, and maybe I will, take heed of that and make a character and send it off to you. No promises, but until the next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. I've been Dave, and you heard it here on the Game Vine. I'm out. Bye, everybody.